Charlie Kirk goes toe-to-toe once again with some college students. This time they sound like they come from down under, and they have some interesting things to say. It's very interesting, and you got to stay to them because the end of this clip is actually insane. The way that this one college kid behaves, condescending. All of them are all behaving in a way that's just like super frustrating, and he has the patience of a saint because I promise you I'm verbally throwing hands, not actually, because we don't hit people here. But yeah. Before we get into that, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to Resist the Mainstream to ensure that YouTube, you're enjoying these videos, and in turn, they will continually show up in your feed, and then they'll push it out to more people. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
Okay, let's talk about the nuclear family. Do you think it's a good thing that families stay together or a bad thing? Well, of course there's exceptions, but a nuclear family should try to be preserved and protected, right?
It doesn't impose socialization. It happens here. It's very different. In Africa, for example, living with your grandparents, living with your aunties, living in a common union, in a compound, sharing resources is very normal, and
that's what I'm arguing for, is a restoration of the nuclear family.
No, that's not the nuclear family. That's extended. It's very different. That's
right, they could work symbiotically, but you can't have extended without nuclear.
Would you admit that the extended family and the nuclear family are two different things?
Without a doubt, but you can't have extended without nuclear.
No, the nuclear family is a family of two parents.
So you don't believe that's an ideal?
Mom, dad, brother, and a child. Like, and a son. That's 2.4.
You don't believe it's an ideal? Wow.
Two parents, two children, etc.
You're getting isolated.
The West has gone further into poverty, higher suicide rates, higher use of drug usage, as the nuclear family has been deteriorated.
Society also has been stripped of its connected,
because of the deterioration of the nuclear family.
Neoliberalism is pushing families to nuclear.
So you mean the greatest leaders of the 20th?
You just say because of racism, because of fascism, because it is statistically proven that it is the most conducive environment for a child to be when it is a mother and a father. They're going most likely to be successful and be set up for success if they have a mother and a father in the home. That is statistically proven to be a fact. Why are we fighting that? And extended family, it's all about the extended family. You didn't realize. Did you hear what he just said? Can't have extended family without nuclear family. Duh. My goodness, these people are absolutely insane.
20th century. Winston Churchill was the greatest man to live in the 20th century. Ronald Reagan was right behind it. Maggie Thatcher.
Whoa. Okay.
We're all living freer, more prosperous lives.
Let's go laugh at the weird man that's come from
so prove me wrong. Prove me wrong why Winston Churchill was not the greatest man to live in the 20th century.
I mean,
he was the war prime minister. It's completely different.
You mean the war prime minister that defeated the Nazis, that pushed back neo-fascism in Europe, that unified London against the greatest evil of our time?
You're talking about the war that Winston Churchill defeated the Nazis. There was also millions of Indians who were recruited in that war. And then after the war, what did Winston Churchill do?
Well, he was actually kicked out because the British people, they like strength and courage during World War II. They don't like strength and courage after.
Don't touch the question. What happened in India? What happened
you'll have to enlighten me.
As a what was Churchill restricting rations, restricting supplies that had been donated by India back to India. There was mass famine. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people died as a result of Winston Churchill giving no fucks about the common humanity of goodness versus evil.
Do you think Neville Chamberlain or Winston Churchill was a better leader?
Do you have an Instagram so I can put you on Twitter?
Please, at Charlie Kirk 1776, the greatest year of the last 300 years. The year that Adam Smith wrote The Inquiry into the Wealth of Nations and the Declaration of Independence was written. A great commonality between our two decent societies. Adam Smith was one of the greatest thinkers and discoverers in human history. Okay, good, we agree. So, anyway, I don't know what happened to my... I'm sorry?
I don't know if you've read,
I've read Marx and Engels, I've read...
Have you read Adam Smith?
Yeah, so an inquiry into the cause of the wealth of nations, I have, yes.
Right.
So where he observes the invisible hand, observes people that...
So you know that the invisible hand is like a physical hand, right? Like.
Oh, no, I actually understand it's a metaphor. So he actually didn't create anything, he discovered it. So we all operate in markets one way or the other.
No, I know, and I'm quite familiar. So I'm wondering if you read the chapters.
I hate a condescending laugh. That's what she just did. That's what she just. Let's just have a conversation, sweetie. Let's just talk. Let's talk it out. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Everything's fine. We're good. We're cool. I understand there's cameras in your face. Maybe you feel uncomfortable. Maybe you've never been on camera before. Maybe you're thinking, I know it adds 10 pounds. I didn't go to the gym today. My hair is looking kind of frizzy and nappy. I look like me in the morning when my hair is long. I haven't done it. Well, not right now because I cut it. But still, there could be reasonings for why you're uncomfortable right now. But no condescending nature is needed. We don't need that. Just present your points. And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
How socialism is actually quite good to keep two societies together. It's a facet
No, so he talks about voluntary constructs that are created in communities, not government coercion. Two totally different things. No, he does. He never advocates for coercive government intervention. He never talks about high taxation, regulation, or price gouging, things that the left talks about. Well, can you reference what part of the Inquiry into the Cause of Wealth of Nations he talks about? Well, because it doesn't exist. Right. So Adam Smith, this
There she goes again. Right. Right.
discovered free market capitalism in the modern era. He didn't create anything. Where Marxism and communism was created by people that wanted to really create power.
Where are you from? I'm literally curious.
America, Chicago.
You're from Chicago, right? So where? You guys are pretty much
Northwest suburbs area. Northwest suburbs, so Wheeling, Arlington Heights area.
Feeling of the gun crime in Chicago.
You mean the high? It's actually the strictest gun laws in the country.
Is that not an issue?
So it's actually all run by Democrats in the United States, which I find to be a repulsive political ideology, which is centered around control, similar to socialism. Well, no, there's a difference. Actually, I'm a huge supporter of democratic means of electing individuals under a constitutional republic. But democracy in general actually is something that is an overused term that I don't believe in the tyranny of the majority. Just because 50% of people believe something doesn't mean it's true. What about voter suppression?
Do you think that it should be?
No, it's a total myth and lie. I believe you should be alive to vote. You have to be a U.S. citizen and have an ID to vote. No, it doesn't vote. You know, it doesn't occur. We have an entire voting month in the U.S. What about the states? I'm happy to defend the greatest country ever to exist. What's a better country? Can you name one? What's a better country?
Yo, these Brits got so triggered. How dare you say America's the greatest country in the world? I don't see people coming in droves to try to go to be in the UK, to London, where they are at. I don't see anyone trying to do that, to be honest. To be frank, a little rubbishy over there.
Country than the U.S. Name one.
Plenty, mate.
Name one. Name one.
What about Britain first?
Most Olympic medals, most Nobel Peace Prizes, most valuable country, most generous, most benevolent, most creative, most entrepreneurial.
What's Olympic medals going to do with
Excellent.
economic and political issues like
$22 trillion GDP. $22 trillion GDP. We gave $500 billion a year to charity last year. Whenever there's a hurricane, a tsunami, anything that happens, the United States always steps up. Of course we do. Name one hurricane we haven't stepped up for in our own country. With Katrina, we stepped up. What are you talking about? You guys. What about Hurricane Maria? We gave tens of billions of dollars to Hurricane Maria. Yes, we did. I'm sorry? I'm sorry? Can you name a better country than the United States of America? You can't? Okay, hello.
We're waiting to know whether this is actually considered propaganda or not, and you're allowed to film.
Okay,
so
fine.
everybody, stop it, put
No.
down cameras, or move to another place with all the people you have here, and move to that street down there. Okay? Oh, wait.
Or we can keep talking because no one's getting hurt.
Okay. Why about keep talking? Switch of the...
Well, look, so fair and decent society
Wait for it, like...
includes debate and disagreement.
Absolutely.
So then why are you trying to shut that down?
No, I'm not shutting you down.
You actually are. You.
I'm just saying, just wait a second.
Or we could keep talking until we could do that.
Or you can keep talking and switch off the cameras. Compromise. It's not this what debate is about and democracy is about. Compromise. Either you wait.
Okay, I'm not gonna talk.
In what world is debate about compromise? You don't compromise, you understand, you're respectful. Try to see the other person's point of view or presenting your point of view with the facts and evidence you have, the data, the empirical evidence that you might acquire. But yeah, no. What are you coming out of nowhere? Just tell me, so shut it down to make sure you'll do that. Like, what are you talking about? That was a terrible accent, by the way. I'm about to get called out bad. But like, what is she talking about? What do you mean shut it down? Go over there. No, you might go over there. You weren't even in this. You came up, literally, I noticed you in the back trying to get people to notice you, that you wanted to get your 5 minutes, telling everyone, oh, I got something I got to say. And all you had to say was shut it down, turn off the cameras, compromise, and go. I don't even want to debate you on what you're talking about. I just want to tell you to shut it down. No, that's not how it works here.
Talk to you because I don't really know what you're saying. So.
Okay, so now this is debate and this is democracy. You're not gonna...
Well, you're trying to shut down an entire forum.
I'm not trying.
I think there's also the question.
Well, this is actually the BBC, so you guys could talk to the BBC about it. So, right. So I have a right to freedom of expression, don't I? And if people don't want to engage in the freedom of expression, they can walk away. So that's a voluntary transaction of a conversation.
I don't think there's a problem with talking.
I agree that talking and conversation is fundamental to a fair and decent and civil society.
Not this place.
argue that's different. Yeah, there's a point. I mean, it's alright.
That's fine.
But some reason maybe not in this place. It's like human rights, beauty, democracy. That's what it's about.
Trouble in paradise over there, though. I saw them. She's having a little debate. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. So it's the far left campus in London, SLAS. And if you couldn't tell, I mean, after the whole debacle, I'm sure you could gather that they were super leftist and insane. Honestly, at least they were willing to talk. They weren't as, I will say, although America is the greatest country in the world, I will stand by that. They were more respectful than the American college campus students. Some of these kids in college campus would start with dropping F-bombs, screaming at them. The one guy did say it, but he wasn't talking necessarily directly at Charlie. He was just saying about Winston Churchill. So even within that, he was being more respectful than a lot of these American college kids on the campus. So if I have anything positive to say about them, kudos to them for their attempt at being respectful, other than the condescending nature of like laughing in his face when they didn't know what they were talking about. That was interesting. But yeah, you need debate in order to be able to have, like, if you have these discussions with people with opposing views, you can be able to come to a lot of similarities, conclusions. Obviously, it will continue to differ in some areas, but they really helped you grow individually and help grow each other. So I think it was a good conversation overall, except for crazy girl at the end with the red trying to get him to just shut everything down. I don't know what she was bugging. She was tripping out, but we don't mind. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment down your thoughts below. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.